what is the worst thing about fingering your sister? It's when you find your dad's wedding ring. That's completely.
I'm not laughing at the joke. I'm laughing at her reaction.
Wait, I'm still processing this.
I'm ashamed that all of us got it.
I don't get it. Oh my god.
No, when you finger your sister and then you find your dad's wedding ring.
Oh. Okay.
And that's how we usually start the podcast now.
Right. Okay, let me try a second one.
Wow.
The long pause was not good enough for you.
How many Jews can you fit in the car? Two
I
in the
don't know
front
how-
seat, 2 in the front seat, 3 in the back, and 6 million in the ashtray. So welcome back to the Listening Room podcast. I'm here with Devon, Sean, myself, Josiah, and today we have Devel from Some Scruffs.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
So Devel,
Welcome to
I
the
just want to say
listening
that
room.
you are our first female solo guest on our podcast, and I also want to make it clear that female solo is one of my favorite categories.
Okay, noted. And I'm very glad that I'm not in the same room as you right now. You know,
Right.
good to
You
have
see
that
that?
distance.
You just
You know.
made it more difficult for us to get female guests now. Now, Devon, we have to have the camera. We have to have the camera.
Yes, we need to.
It's now a needed thing, and you have to draft up the clause and
NDA.
everything. But it's all right.
Let's
You
be-
are
let-
safe.
let's
We
be
don't need a
clear here.
release. We
Let's
don't
be
need a
clear here.
release, but
Paula, Josie doesn't like you.
well, welcome to the listening room. First ever female guest. We're
Thank you.
excited to have your views on our views, which is usually messed up and, from the opening you can tell. But we have fun, most of the time. Yeah, unless I'm frozen, which might happen. I don't know what's wrong with my connection. But for this week,
You're doing well so far, though. You're doing well
so far, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. But I think for this week we have a few topics we want to cover. The main one we had interest in was this Chinese adoption debacle with what's the name? Micah Stauffer.
Micah Stroffer.
Straufer. So she's already mixed up from the beginning. Micah Straufer.
I know, right? You can't even figure out her name. Like, how do you
Yeah.
even begin? God.
So she started a YouTube site, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
You
we have a YouTube channel as well, and we realized that our views has been increasing ever since we start uploading like videos of like our podcast. How do you think that what's the best way to go to get like to 1 million views? Should we like adopt a child?
Yeah. No, and you gotta get one that's exotic. So since you guys are all Asian, you clearly need like some
A cookie.
Hungarian. Yeah.
Oh,
like
But Hungarian is white though. You need to get white is not exotic now in this atmosphere, right? We need to get something else, like a Madagascan kid or something.
We can get an indigenous person, like an Eskimo, an autistic Eskimo.
Yes.
An autistic Eskimo, someone who is, I don't know, instead of fishing from the ice hole, he fishes from. I actually don't know what Eskimos do.
No, but here's the thing:
like
you can't build an igloo for him in Singapore because it just melt. It's too hot here. So Eskimo.
Yeah.
The kid wouldn't need
the
an
cool
igloo
thing.
here.
No, the cool thing is to see him try.
Right.
Him or her, yeah. We'll just to see them use ice cubes and slowly put it out and see it melt, and the disappointment on his face, when it melts, and then you trying to explain that it's hot, it's going to melt, and he doesn't understand, and then you film it. And people are like,
Alternatively, you could get one of those big freezers that they have to like store like meat and like dead bodies and stuff, and you just like put him in. You can put a little crib in there. Yeah, I mean, perfect kind of climate.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was
Or
wrong.
just bring
You
the kid,
fit
bring the
just
kid
well
to
here.
bring the kid to Snow City and leave the kid there.
Right.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I mean, considering now we're all like under lockdown, sort of, you could kind of work something out with the Snow City. Yeah.
You could.
He could meet new friends when they start bringing schools back for excursions. You'll meet different kids.
He could be the new urban.
He can start his own tribe. I think start his own family there.
Snow City Eskimo.
It's beginning to sound more and more apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
but
how it
coming
goes.
back to that channel, right? So, when I read about the channel, I was like, wow, like people immediately went hard. They were like, what is this lady doing? They adopted a kid. They used that kid for views, and now once it's
Okay, wait,
hard
wait,
for
wait.
them to
We
look
should
after.
we should probably like give a
Give
little
them
bit of
context.
background
Oh,
on like
okay,
what
yeah.
actually happened, because I think it's not
Okay.
something that's like mainstream news.
Yep.
So
Right.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead, Mel, if you want to give us like a backdrop of what
Yeah.
this whole thing is about.
I thought you guys gonna do the hard work, but fine.
I guess
So-
you gotta put in some,
Fine. I will
Quality.
tell the story. Settle in, kids.
All right.
So Micah Stroffer is this like typical blonde white lady who is like a conservative Christian, and she and her husband started like a YouTube channel to talk about their kids. I think it was in 2014 when they first started. So back then they only had two really young kids, and they were like, "Oh, this is my life. This is how I change diapers. This is my morning routine. This is how I homeschool my kids and organize the house, blah, blah, blah." So all that like boring momsy stuff. And back then, like, I think she had quite a small following, and then it grew progressively until I think about 2016 when she was thinking about how to, by then she already had 4 kids. And
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
so she's got, wait, no, she had 3 and she was expecting one more, I think, something
So
along
being
those
Christian,
lines.
she probably didn't believe in the condom, lah.
Yeah.
Probably.
But it's like when you have 3 kids already and you're expecting one more, like, shouldn't you think about, maybe other ways of family planning rather than adopting more kids? But
Yeah, that's
anyway,
that's why the best answer is anal, because you don't have to worry about like getting pregnant.
that's the Catholic way.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
That is actually the Catholic way.
Back-
but we
backdoor
got, we
to
got it all
marriage.
mixed
That's-
up. We got it
This
mixed
is,
up. We
Yeah.
forgot that the anal way only applies to men and women. They took
And
it
that's
too
the answer
far.
that's the answer to global warming as well, because you like decrease the population, so we don't like pollute that much, and then the world becomes a better place.
no, it's no longer global warming, it's climate change.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's the answer to all the world's problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
People wondering
But-
now, how
So-
are we linking anal to the climate change? I'm
Hashtag
confused.
anal for climate change.
We need to get that trending, though. We need to get that trending.
If it trends, it's all gonna be on you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So okay, back to Micah, right? So her whole brand is like conservative Christian, loving, picture perfect household of like, just a tight-knit family. And I guess it was probably stagnating at some point because I mean any white person with like, genetically superior kids can just prance around in front of a camera and that's your YouTube channel, right? So I guess she was probably looking for something to distinguish herself from the rest, right?
Mm.
Like,
Right.
and I'm saying it very dismissively because I think it has been clear all along that like this whole YouTube channel is how she makes money, right? It's her brand, right?
Yep.
So, and I don't think that she's a bad mom, but I think it's very clear that she's using her family to advance her career and her like to provide
She's selling motherhood.
exactly. It's a product at the end of the
Mm.
day, and
Yep.
I mean I'm sure you guys have thoughts on that, but that's what she was essentially doing, and so she decided that she needed some sort of a new brand campaign, I guess. And
Mhm.
so it was in the form of this Chinese boy who they decided to adopt from China.
Yep.
And yeah, that's when the whole debacle started because
Mm.
very early on, I think this is like 2016.
2017, if I'm not wrong, they adopted the Chinese kid, right?
So even before that, they had this whole long drawn out process of like how they went and they talked to like the adoption center and they discussed the child, and then they had this whole team of experts, and then like she in one of the very first videos that she did for that series on like her whole adoption journey, she talks about how the clinicians actually told her that maybe this is not the best idea because this kid, after they did some sort of a brain scan, they found that he had some disabilities that I think it's something neurological, and that would make it very, very challenging to raise him, and it's probably not the best idea to adopt this child because it could be a huge burden on her. And at that point, even before she adopted this child, she said, "Oh, but I have so much love for this kid, and I just know that my unconditional love will be enough for him." And it's like, I'm not going to return this child. He is my child. He's like, he belongs to this family. And you just know she's basically setting
Milking
herself up to lose.
Yeah, she's a good
Yeah.
actor, I would say. And
I think she genuinely believed it at that point in time. I am this white savior person coming into this poor East Asian kid's life, and I'm rescuing him from all of his disability and his circumstances. And and of course, because of that, people are lapping this shit up. And I think her subscriber count just doubled within a year.
yeah, and also it's funny how the name that she gave the kid, a Chinese kid from China, and she names him Huxley. It's like, what?
I do like the name Huxley though.
Yeah, it's a great name, but kind of weird to name a Chinese kid Huxley.
Yeah, I think, but she had to fight the urge to just call him Wang.
Yeah, Wang.
Oh,
Just look at him and he looks like a Wang, but I can't seem racist. So I'm going to call him, what Huxley is it? Huxley.
Huxley.
Yeah, so let's give him the most
Huxley.
English name ever, Huxley.
Yeah,
Right?
let's call him Huxley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
she thought she could. Yeah,
Huxley
Huxley.
arrives, and he's just biting and pinching the other kids, and he's fussing, and she's super frustrated, but she's like, "Oh, but I love him so much, and this is so challenging, blah blah blah." And people have sympathy for her because they already know that he's got these mental disabilities, right?
He's
And
autistic,
then
right, isn't he?
so they only
he's on
found
the
that
spectrum.
so it was, I think, when they actually brought him to the doctor, the pediatrician in the country that they were in, America. So they brought him there, and that's when he was diagnosed with autism. And that's when it all went downhill. Because
Right. Wait, so hang on. So they didn't know about his autism before they adopted him?
yeah, so they knew he had some sort of neurological condition.
I see.
But on top of that, he had autism as well, which they were not privy to, which
Was
is
it
one of
only the neurological condition, or did he have some other a tumor or something like that? I think I read that somewhere.
I think they did some sort of a scan and they found that afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
So here's the important thing that I want to ask. How much? What's the return fee package? When you order something from China and then it comes faulty. How much do you pay to
they don't have a
it back?
return policy on their
There's no
stuff.
return policy. This
Like most other
Chinese
things
brothers.
from China,
Yeah,
most other thing made from China, you always have to question it.
yeah. So I think
Mm.
they learned a very hard lesson though.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I should say
Yeah.
they only returned the goods 3. Wait, when was this? 3
Oh yeah.
years?
This is in
after?
2017, right?
Yeah, this was yeah.
Oh, I think it expired. Return policy
Yeah.
expired. You got 7 days only.
That's the lemon law, right?
Lemon law, 7 days. You come inside, you scan whatever thing. Oh, sorry, cannot return. So you're stuck. You stuck.
Should have
with
bought
them.
the
Sorry,
kid
I'm
through
back.
Alibaba.
Oh, but it was going on for. The news was going on for 3 years. So there
Yeah,
are
and
lots of
during-
views. They were bringing. They were monetizing the. I mean, they got money from it and everything. They got quite famous. Is it? I mean,
Yes.
I don't know how. I've only heard of them just recently through this. So I'm
Yeah, so
pretty
during
famous over there.
During the 3-year period, they produced 27 videos about their adoption journey, including a 13-part series of adoption updates. And I think all the videos have been monetized. So yeah, so they've been making quite some money from it.
Yeah, but
No,
the
they
fallout
did. They even did a fundraiser. They were like,
Oh.
"Oh, we are gonna bring this kid over, so all you have to do is donate $10, and you can help us to pay for the fees to bring him over, stuff like that." And yeah, it was a whole thing, and people contributed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty
Goodness
sure
of
she
their
must have gotten like sponsors and stuff like that, right?
Oh
For
yeah, for
videos for the
sure.
Yep.
kids. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
there
I
was
think she
apparently
still
Micah
does.
plugged a fundraiser. She organized for Huxley's needs. She said that every person who donated $5 will unlock a different piece of a 1,000 piece puzzle, which at the end will be a photo of Huxley. Damn,
Oh,
that's
so it's like the
marketing.
big reveal.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty good marketing
And then-
actually.
yeah, and it doesn't do anything, right? I can really see the kid. Why must I see the kid in 1,000 different pieces?
But
Oh
who
no, I
gets the
think
kid
that was
to?
probably before he arrived. So it's like building the
Oh,
anticipation, you know.
Building a
oh,
Take
1,000
notes,
piece
guys.
puzzle. What, 1,000 piece puzzle? So wait, the puzzles, how are they selling it? So you get a piece for donating, and then what, you all have to get together and then make a big piece?
No,
Or
most
each
likely
person
it'll
gets
be a link. It'll be a link to some
Yeah.
image. So every time someone donates $5, one part gets unlocked.
one part gets unlocked,
Yeah.
and then at the end of it, they'll get a
Yeah,
whole picture,
Once they reach
Yeah.
$1,000, you can see the kid's face, lah.
and then they
So
can print it
like,
out.
like
and then
your piece
get
might be
unlocked.
like his right eyeball, my piece might be his earlobe or some shit, and then we add it together, and then you can see his full portrait.
Wow.
Can you imagine how disappointed all these white people would be when they like piece it together and they're like, oh, but all
It's not even
Chinese
white.
boys look the same, you know?
Exactly.
I can't tell this one
Looks
from
like
the
Chang,
next
my
one.
neighbor. Yeah,
Yeah.
this looks like Chang, my neighbor's kid. Wait a minute, is that Steve? That's not Huxley. Steve Chai. Oh, yeah.
He
What
looks
have I
more like a
done?
Wang.
Yeah, or more like a Wang.
Yeah, and this lady, right, she got like so many different like op-ed opportunities, right? Like, fuck, like she was interviewed by don't know how many newspapers, how many websites. She
Being
must
Yeah.
such
have
a good
definitely
Samaritan.
monetized most of those opportunities.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, and it works for the brand as well, right? Like because now
Yeah.
you're not just this white mom, you're like a white savior type, and you know how to manage special needs, and you know you have 5 kids, one with special needs. It's a big badge of honor if you can carry it right, and I
Yeah.
think that's why she held on to it.
Did they have merch?
I don't actually know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Ah,
I think they had to stay away from being
that
too
would be
obvious.
incredible, right? With the
Yeah,
boy's face
I think
and
they have to
everything.
be. They have to be too obvious. They can't be too obvious. Like they can't have one shirt and then an extra chromosome or something when they sell them.
That's the wrong.
I
That's
mean,
Down syndrome.
yeah, that's the wrong one. Sorry, but so or a spectrum, like colorful spectrum. I got them mixed up. I'm sorry, like a colorful spectrum, and then they set it up.
We
And then put
apologize
Huxley.
to everyone in the Down syndrome community.
Yes,
as well as
I am.
autism
I am
community.
so sorry. Autism community, I am so sorry as well. I haven't gotten tested. I may be part of your spectrum as well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but so no, I don't think they can be too obvious. But
No,
I
we
think
hope
the
they're
fallout
laughing
only
as well.
began the
You can
fallout.
start a fundraiser for you to get tested.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh my
mind
god.
I think that can
you never
work.
know. Hey, that could work. Let's just have one,
It'd be
and
like
then
a
if it happens,
piece puzzle of your face, frozen.
Exactly.
yeah. But
No,
the best
if
thing
we
is
have
that they
enough
don't fit.
people, if we have enough people like getting offended by this, then we like donate. Let's get him tested.
It works, man. And if anybody out there is watching this and is offended by the Down syndrome and the autism things, all the better. Because if I'm one of it, that's also a merch idea for us. The listing
Wow.
room plus one.
Wow.
More. Plus one more.
One of it. Yes,
That's
he's
one more,
really,
yes.
he's really.
And then we
thinking
can do
that.
the merch. We can do the merch. We can do one lobang in the center and the spectrum at the back. Yes. Hey,
But
you see, this is
I
already
think we
working
can-
out. First
I think we can
female
safely
guest
say
and
that-
a new idea. Huh?
I think you can safely say that people with IQ of 75 will not be able to understand what we're saying. So we should say.
No, you have to apologize. Just do it slowly.
Apologize to all the people who have IQ 75 and below.
Yes, but you just have to you have to do it slowly so that you can understand.
Yeah. Okay. So in October 2017, Michael published a compilation video titled Huxley's Emotional Adoption Video. Gotcha Day China Adoption, whatever that means. So that video itself was a huge hit on the channel and it was viewed more than 5.5 million times.
Did you guys see it?
No.
No. So I tried to go on the channel and take a look at it, but apparently they're all taken down.
No
They've all been
way.
made private. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, I read
man.
another thing, right, about that channel. So they had various videos where they were out on like outings and stuff like that as a family, and you could hear the mother shouting at the kid, at the
No
Chinese boy.
way.
So when those kind of things started to happen, the husband just moved away, or they edited that out. Like they would edit after that started. They would just like skip.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So,
I was actually gonna say that because I watched the video where they collected Huxley, and like they had all these like cute shots of her trying to interact with him, and he's really sweet and very cute. But you could tell that like by the time he starts to fuss, and he's like struggling away from her, then they cut to another scene.
Mm.
He's just happy and like interacting with the other kids again. So you kind of know something's up, and then nobody is speaking. It's just really a very quick compilation video with like just little clips everywhere, and I found that kind of strange.
yeah, someone wanted to make a compilation of all those like quick cuts, like how like when shit started to hit the fan, they switched to something else, and by then they edited the videos or they took them down. So yeah, they were like, okay, let's not. Oh, she's doing a Gary now.
Who? What?
Yeah. So
But she
Denzel is
looks
doing it,
angry.
No,
She's the opposite
like,
of it. She's the opposite
what
of
happened
Gary.
here?
She has a frown.
Oh, you're
Am I
back,
back?
Denzel.
Yes,
You're back.
back.
But unlike
Okay.
Gary, you
For
gave
split
us a
second.
frown when you froze. You were like frowning at us.
Yeah,
Like,
and on my
now-
screen,
now-
you're looking
now-
down to watch Sean. So I think
Now
yeah.
she's smiling. Now she's smiling.
So according to the article, Huxley was diagnosed with a stroke in utero, has level 3 autism and sensory processing disorder.
Stroke.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think
Oh,
I
they
think they
stopped.
didn't realize the extent of his special needs until they brought him to America.
The US.
I would say Singapore. Yeah, brought him to the States, and then they did like further tests
Hey,
on him.
they rehomed him about 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
No, they
Huh?
rehomed him.
Oh yeah, no. So we'll get to that. So what happened
So it's
after
like
that is
only 1 year. Only 1 year.
So
They only
they used him for the 27 videos from 2017 all the way to 2019, around September-ish. And after that, he started to disappear from the family videos or the videos that they're doing on the channel. And a lot of the
She's still
fans started
frozen.
asking like, "Hey, where's Huxley? What's happening to him?" And then on September 2019, she did a final. So Micah did a final update on Huxley's progress. She announced that it's been too. The last couple of years has been a bit too hard on us, and we have decided that we are not capable enough, or we don't have the right training to take care of him, and they decide to rehome him in another family.
Well, what was interesting about that is they actually said that it was a collective decision with their physicians, and they have a whole team supporting them, with their therapists as well. So they kind of framed it in a way that it wasn't their choice, but it was recommended to them that this would be the best thing for Huxley. And like she even said something along the lines of like Huxley wanted to be rehomed or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, this kid is like tiny. Does he really know?
Yeah.
You said you had a stroke, right? Stroke and stage
In utero.
3 or
In utero.
in
So
utero
while he
stroke.
still
So he had a
was
stroke
in,
while in the womb.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're basically, I feel that like reading the article and then like, I feel that they're just pushing responsibility away. And just saying that, oh yeah, we went to seek advice, and this professional medical staff give us advice that, oh, he's better off in another home. So I don't know.
I'm of two minds about that, because I do acknowledge that like living with someone who is on the spectrum and on the extreme end, I think it can be really, really challenging. And especially if they are aggressive and they pose a threat to your other children. So maybe there is some merit there. Although, I mean, I don't think most people have the option of just like taking the kid and putting them with somebody else when that happens. Like,
Yeah.
plus these guys are really well resourced, right? The fact that they have a whole team of physicians and consultants providing advice for them suggests that they do have support. You know, it's not like they're doing this on their own, but at the same time, I guess, you know, Deepan, you mentioned how they're cutting out a lot of the scenes where, you know, there's conflict or there's stress. So we don't really know what's happening. My issue with this is the kind of hubris that she had to take on this challenge in the first place. Because, like,
Exactly.
you have four kids,
Four kids.
right? Like, even people with just the one kid with autism, even those people can struggle, right? If those are extreme cases, and it can be really tiring, and you can have all the resources you want, but it doesn't make it any easier, right? Okay, it does make it easier, but it doesn't make it less emotionally challenging.
Yeah,
So,
and also it just goes to show like how much they choose what to the narrative that they're spinning to the audiences on their YouTube channel, and how they try to sell the fact that they are a loving family, but choose not only show the good side but not the bad side. Because if they're really being forthcoming to their audience, they would show their struggles though, you know, in their YouTube channel, and how they can't seem to cope with someone struggling with autism.
I
It just
question
seems
the
like
whole
a-
thing. I question the whole thing from the beginning. It's like this already shows that your intentions for adopting the kid was not as genuine. I don't think you gave us the full your full reasons. I think you wanted to adopt the kid just for views. At least to me, it seems that way. It seems that way of you grabbing views because I think like we all saw, you have 4 kids. So to adopt another one, you need. I mean, you have to have a very strong reason. You have to know that you can already handle 4 kids. You're prepared to take a new one in, and then later on when you found out that this kid might have neurological problems, you also decided that you could take that on, and that's a commitment that you like somehow you owned up to. You said like you will carry through with it, and then later on you go back on it and you tell people, oh, we had it hard. We have 4 kids. We have 1 more on the way. It's just too irresponsible for us to take. That's like, no, it was irresponsible since the beginning.
That's the bit that makes it fucked up, right? Like,
and my
said
view
that
is if
experts
you really
say, like, don't do it, and
yeah,
then you said no, I'm still gonna go on. You know, you're fucking.
you committed to it. You basically took a child in another life, and you said you would handle it. And then later on, when you can't handle it, when the inevitable happened, you couldn't handle it. You decided not to go through with it. You gave him away. So in that sense, my view is right. When you gave him away, everything you made from him should go with him.
Yes.
Everything you made from him should go with him to the other family that you gave him to.
Right.
And that family now has to use that resources which you made from him to help him have a better life. Then you taking him over, and just shoving him around like a used toy or I don't know. I don't know how to describe a living child like that.
Yeah, it just seems like a big PR stunt from the beginning, and now she's just.
It's too much, basically.
It's too much over the handle.
Too much, then you gave him away. And now questioning the things that I know it's hard. I think everyone knows it'll be hard. Like I don't have my parents to ask right now, but I think I was quite difficult, But they didn't give me away. You see, I'm now here. But like, it's not something for him to say. It's like 10 years from now, he's gonna. I mean, hopefully he grows up well, but he's gonna say, "Who gave me the name Huxley? I look like a Wang," and who's gonna answer that?
Or like a Chang, even.
Or
maybe.
Chang.
Yeah.
Or Chang. So I just think that this was a money grab from her. I mean, honest view, I think it was a money grab. I think it was a view. I could be wrong, but to me, it just seems like that. Is Devel back?
Sorry, guys. I just missed like the last 2 minutes of this conversation, but I heard the money grab thing, and absolutely.
Yeah, it's a money grab.
No, and Sean was saying that the money that they got, they earned from most of the videos that they shot with the kid in it, should actually go to the kid, or a substantial portion should go to the kid so that he can be raised better.
Yeah, and in fact, I think there was some sort of a petition to ask them to either take down all the videos that were monetized that feature
Yeah.
him,
Mhm.
and maybe that's why we haven't been able to access all of those. But
Maybe
yeah,
Okay.
it would be better if that money actually went to him.
it has to go with him. They basically made money using him, using the whole scenario of adopting him, and taking him, bring him over, and like, acting like a white savior, and they didn't go through with it. So
Yeah.
but
It just
Speaking
doesn't
of
feel
earning
right.
money,
there is no contract. No, but there wasn't a contract. This whole thing was just a
Yeah.
verbal, like I'll do everything, and she can just point up to not having, gauged her abilities that well. 4 kids in. She used that as
Yeah.
I
No,
think that was
and
her.
that's a really disturbing thing, I think, about all these family YouTube channels, right? Like a lot of these kids don't have the option to say, I don't want to do this because they're so young, right? They just
Yeah.
kind of get forced into this world, and people don't really know that it's a labor in itself, because I mean, what kid at 4 years old wants to get dolled up and have a camera shoved in their face all the time? Like, especially if they're throwing a tantrum or doing something stupid or like rolling in the mud. Like, you're not gonna want that kind of an internet history of yourself on
Yeah.
there for the whole world to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, because the
right?
kid never consented. The kid can't consent to those kind of things.
Not until 10 years later. Imagine him looking back. It's like, I was what? You did what with me? Like, imagine the Honey
For
Boo Boos.
Huxley.
Yeah, Huxley, that he's one, and then the rest of them that are now YouTube famous, like you were saying, the kid who made what, $22 million.
Yeah,
Who's that,
Ryan's
Ryan?
Ryan
Ryan's
Reviews or
Toys or
something.
something, right?
Ryan Toys and the
How
Honey Boo
old
Boo
is
girl.
he right now?
How old
Because
is
he
he?
started when he was tiny, right? He was like 5
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, so Ryan is now 8 or 9, turning 9, I think.
Wow, he's a
Ah.
millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a millionaire. He's a millionaire. I don't know whether he is a millionaire. His parents are
So,
probably the millionaires.
Multi-millionaire.
The channel makes about 19 to 22 million a year on average.
No way.
It's the highest viewed channel on YouTube.
Oh,
Of him
God.
reviewing toys, who watches it? That's
Dude,
my
kids
question.
watch it, dude. Kids
I mean,
watch
Yeah,
it.
kids love it.
Kids
watch it.
Kids watch it. Well, I mean, if it's kids, it's okay. But then again, keep an eye out on who actually reviews it. Huh?
You know, technically, you look at all these like vlogs.
It's like
with,
in the church area, you better
children,
watch out.
with like young kids and like adolescent and all. It's basically pedophile porn,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I
And
mean,
22 million.
all those young girls that just like make slime. Like, I really don't think other kids are watching that. I feel like
Wait, what is that?
Young girl makes
The-
slime.
have you guys not seen like there are teenagers
I've-
who have channels dedicated to making slime? Oh my
Yeah,
god,
I've
it's
heard of this
I've never even
phenomena,
heard of it.
Well,
but
make
I
slime
don't understand.
with
What's
what?
the attractiveness of making slime though? I don't get it.
I have no idea. It's weird. And then they have like entire like 10-minute videos of them just making the slime and then like pulling it apart. And like, oh, today I'm gonna make glitter slime. Look at all the glitter. And you're like, who is watching this? Like,
That's a,
so messed
Okay,
up.
made by kids or like
They are made
teenagers?
by kids. They're
Oh,
like,
okay.
I think there was one that I saw that she must have been like 11 or 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
making slime.
Oh,
Oh no, she froze.
Yeah, but hey,
Making slime.
that is fucked up.
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I mean,
Apparently,
can you
this
imagine
is
people watching it? Like,
this
whoa.
is trending among kids like below the age of 15.
Yes,
So
yeah.
Apparently on
No, like,
on YouTube.
like I've seen my cousin watch it. Like kids, like the parents bringing the kids out to like the supermarket, and everything is just you are just shooting there.
Yeah.
And like why?
So like
Yeah.
going around the supermarket to buy like the ingredients
things,
for
yeah.
slime making.
Hmm.
I see
wow.
my nieces also watch one channel about this little girl and her family just play acting. Play acting is like, it's like, yeah, buy this, okay, and to me it's annoying. Honestly, very annoying. we usually you bear with it when kids watch, but oh my god, you never know that the voice could be that annoying. Hi, oh my god, can you have one? Okay. It's like, oh my god, please no, no, and I pity my brother for that. Like he comes back from work, he hears okay, oh, no, I've never wanted to shoot someone so much in my life. So he's like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. But no offense to that. It's like it's entertaining for kids. It's just like wow. The background thing is that wow. You can see that the parents are putting them on this, and I have the question is that when they get older, what happens? Like when you have kids and they're growing up, they're cute. 1 year old, 2 year, 3 year old. Oh, it's so cute. After you, I throw you up in the air. And then they get toddler age. Like, he's so naughty, but he's still so cute. Then when they grow up into those teenage years, where they start to be bastards, and you look back with this YouTube ones that you look back, it's like, look at you. You were cuter back then. You made me money. Now you're a rich teenager, which is worse.
now you're just a rascal. But now it's interesting, and now we are on the other side of the fence, right? Looking back at like I don't know, looking in at kids enjoying like watching stupid shit. Like, can you imagine like when we were kids, and then like adults around us looking at us and like, why are you watching the same show like the
Over
25th
and over
time?
again.
Yeah.
Like Power Rangers, I watched Power Rangers. And now when I look back at what I was watching, you realize to ask a lot of questions about why I was so like Mastodon. I was like, oh, what's the villain doing while they're morphing?
Yeah.
The guys are announcing what colors they are, what kind of animals they are, and the villain's like, so no,
Hey,
just wait.
don't waste my time. Hey, come and fight lah. Like,
Yeah, like what's
Yeah,
going on?
and looking back, like Power Rangers is a bit. Ooh, she left. I think she'll come back again. I think her
Yeah.
internet's. Hey, but looking back, Power Rangers is a bit fucked up, dude.
Why?
Like the Asian Power Ranger is yellow.
Yes, the first iteration of Power Rangers, they've made fun of that before. They have a
Yeah.
they have a skit that has Zordon like,
Yeah.
you will be red, and then Zack the Black Ranger, you will be black,
Yeah,
and Trini
right?
the Asian one yellow, and you're like, huh? Wait,
And
what's
then the
going on
blonde
here?
Ranger is pink.
And then the blonde's pink, and blue is of course blue is normal, and then red's the funny thing is that they could have gotten red really really wrong if
Then
they
there was
actually
a special one, right?
changed
There
it.
was a green. The
Yeah,
green was
green
special.
green.
You know why?
Then he became white. He became white.
Money. Yeah.
He became the
Then
white
he became
ranger.
white.
Oh, but
Oh,
he's the
is it?
longest serving ranger. That guy, the
Which one?
first guy that became the Green Ranger, Tommy. That guy is
Wait,
still
so-
playing the character. He's a real life martial artist.
So
I
the
don't know his
Green
real.
Ranger is like the leader of the whole gang, is it?
No, he started off as the bad guy. Then they switched him over. Then he became the special ranger. You have the red color guy who's the leader, and then you have the sixth ranger who is a strong outsider. Oh, if she has a problem coming back,
Yeah, I just dropped her a text on Facebook Messenger.
we have to riff off this as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's $2 million for a small kid. You have to understand because we don't know. We've never had presidents before. Like we don't have. I mean, we have child actors. That's where we can take this off. That's the closest thing to what's happening to the
No,
YouTube
but
kid.
like with child actors, right? You can see the trend. It's not a good trend.
Not very good.
How
not very
many
good.
child actors have turned out okay?
I mean, okay, imagine for Ryan.
Like in terms of money, it's okay, but look, quite a fair number of them are fucked up in their head, man.
Wait, can you imagine this Ryan Toys?
Mm.
You say it started off at 5. Then now he's
Yes,
what 8?
started out 5.
Now
Yeah,
he's
so now
8
it's 8. About doing it for like 3 to 4 years, I would say.
So I'm guessing he has 2 more years where he can still review toys, or is it going to be an ongoing thing? Is his parents going to make him?
Yo, you're
Oh,
back.
welcome back.
Hello, I'm sorry. Wi-Fi is not my friend today.
I think it's nobody's friend. I don't know why. It's not my friend. So why? I have no idea what's going on with ours. It's not. I think it's us or maybe they don't like us. Are they tapping us? Can't be.
Oh
I
god.
think government is spying on us, lah.
So I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I made the Down syndrome the wrong jokes. I got them mixed up. Is it you don't have to cut us off all the time?
Yeah, this is the NCSS coming to get us.
So yeah, just say one wrong thing. But no, we were discussing while you were away the Ryan Toys. Like how
Yeah.
long can it go on? Like now he was 5 and now he's 8. And then
I
how
think
long
he's been reviewing like cleverer toys. I think now he does like science experiments and stuff that's more advanced. So
he has leveled up.
He has leveled up. I mean, if they can keep it, that way, and then make sure that his own rights are like they're not forcing him into it, because you have to understand he's making a lot of money. And when he was 5, I don't know whether he understood that. He only understood that was whether every time he does a review, he gets the toy, and then later on he gets to eat at Wendy's. So you never know how far it goes. Like now he's 8 years old. He reviews the thing. He gets more pocket money, and he gets to eat at White Castle. I'm not sure.
But the thing is that if he's not homeschooled,
if he's not
getting
homeschooled,
loads of attention.
Yeah. So will he be bullied in school, or the thing is that he might not be bullied because he's got a lot of money, so he can just throw it in the bully's face, like go away.
He has enough money to study in a private school, top private school.
You can study in private school, but when like for us we were saying that the only things we can compare it to is child stars, like how they limelight
and like the pageants, right? We were talking about that.
Okay, so the thing about child actors is that you need to have a chaperone on set at all times, and there's a limited number of hours that they can work. I think it's no more than 4 or 5 hours in a day. So there are certain limitations that are being put on child actors, so as not to like overtax them or things like that.
YouTube kids,
but now with YouTube channels, it's all shot at home, so we don't know exactly how much time they've been working. And when your parents are the directors, like because the chaperone is there to be like the middle person, right, between the director and the actor, to be like, okay, my kid's not comfortable doing this scene because so and so forth reason. But when the director is your parent, and then we don't know how much say the parents can force the kids to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah,
that's true.
So you never know.
And I can envision that it could be quite horrifying if like the kid is like, I don't want to review this toy. Like, then there's no ice cream for you forever. Get out of the house. Like, I mean,
I think for Ryan, it would be like, if you want your Lamborghini by 16, you better do this video. It wouldn't be ice cream.
And it could be the other way around. You could be
if you want your private boat by 21, you better do this video.
Yeah.
No, man. He probably already has a private boat. Think about it.
But I think at 8, like a Lamborghini and a yacht, those things won't matter.
No lah, toys. Lamborghini toy.
Josie's talking about the actual car.
But he doesn't understand that the father wants a Lamborghini. The father wants a yacht.
You got to give him a carrot when he's young, so that he can, he will always want to do whatever you say, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting because I was reading this article about just these child YouTube channels and how they get started, and the strange thing is that you have a lot of kids who are watching things like Ryan's like toy reviews, and then they tell their parents, Mom, Dad, I want to do a video like that. And then the parents are like, oh, since the kid wants to do it, let's just do this for fun. And then once they start to make money, that's when the parents are like, oh, this is actually a cash cow. Like, we should be doing more of this. We should. And then that's when they start applying pressure on the kid, and it becomes something that's not what the kid wants, but they're too invested to back down now. So it's kind of a warped situation where you think like, oh, but the child wanted this in the first place, when you've really kind of distorted the whole concept from something fun to something that's commercial.
Yeah, the parents just hijacked the whole thing, right? Like
we wouldn't even know.
Like cash coming in.
Yeah, but we wouldn't even know if the child wants it. Like Ryan could be in the storeroom right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting here like in a talking about and criticizing our parents for making those decisions. But if I have a kid and he's a cash cow and making as much as Ryan, I will milk him dry, dude.
Yeah.
Or her dry. I'll milk him or her dry. Do whatever it takes to get more money.
Time to adopt your Madagascan child.
There you go. And then exploit him, and then get him to review toys.
I mean, there's always a better car. There's always a bigger boat. There's always a more
for yourself, right?
Private jet.
You just open. Do you want fresh air today? You better review this toy. Bang. All the things.
And that's why abortion is important, lah.
And there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is what we were working towards.
But we are all very thankful that it was not been aborted.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sorry,
I
if
think
your
this whole
future
thing.
partner watches this, right, your future partner will be fully in support of abortion, Josie.
No, I really feel very, very strongly that some people should not be parents. Like, if you want a YouTube channel to monetize the things that you own or the things that you produce, like make slime, okay? Don't have kids. Like, it's it's a much heavier investment, and you will regret it.
What do you think
technically
about
they are
parents?
making slime. So one of them is.
What do you think about parents who send their kids for
I like that they both just ignored you.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes they do that. Yeah.
Sorry,
It's cool.
I interrupted you.
Yeah.
Oh no. What do you think about parents who send their kids for like pageant shows, who dress them up in like pretty dresses and like a ton of makeup? Do you think they're
So I used to well, my ex-boyfriend, his mom used to dress him and his brother up as girls, and she would perm their hair and
What?
sign them up for these pageants as twin girls because she thought it was cute.
Jesus Christ?
So
Oh.
I mean, whatever makes the parent happy, I guess. I mean, it didn't traumatize him or anything, I hope.
How
yeah,
young?
because
when
YouTube
that
didn't
happened?
exist.
That's true. I mean, he doesn't have like physical evidence of that, and neither do I, unfortunately. Or I would gladly share that with you guys.
You could use it as blackmail.
Yeah, no, it's like,
Right.
dude,
Get
scarred
some
for
cash,
life, man.
get some cash.
Scarred for life. One person will be doing a presentation in secondary school and it's like, oh, look at these twins. Guess who they are? Bam, bam, bam. It's, oh, shit. Oh, no.
No, but how young were they? How young were they when their parents?
They must have been toddlers, so he didn't remember any of it. But apparently, this was totally later
No, I mean,
on.
we all have embarrassing kid photos, like one of the. I mean, I in kindergarten, my teachers, my kindergarten teachers somehow conned me, and my parents were letting me participate in the, those mini concerts. I wear a vest and wear makeup and everything.
Cute.
So there is that thing, but it's not on YouTube, and I mean, I shared it here, but I could be making it up. There's only photo evidence.
That's true.
But I'll never show it.
That's
Yeah, so
true.
you see, I have that ability to deny it ever happened. Lock it away in my mind, throw away the keys.
Yeah.
Your ex also the same. Like lock it in mind, share it with whoever he wants to, but no proof. Like not a lot.
But I mean, in your case, it's all in good fun, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
think you were damaged by that, or
No. I
that
mean,
your
it's
parents
not
are-
like I wear wigs or dress up while no
Not
one's
that there's
watching.
anything wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So everything is all.
Cross dressing is fine. If you do it
yeah.
for fun.
I
You
mean,
guys think so? Well, I have a secret. I'm kidding. But at least we have that fallback on. It's all in good fun. You can tell ourselves that. But imagine these kids, they all have it online. And you all talking about the pageant kids. Yeah, their lives are already quite affected by it. There's the one called Honey Boo Boo. I forgot the problem with Honey Boo Boo is I don't know if that's the mom's name or the kid's name.
it has to be the kid's name, right? What kind of a
Yeah,
mom
has
is called
to be
Honey
the name.
Boo?
It's America. Freedom for everything.
Your child, Madeline Franklin, is misbehaving.
Yeah, and I think most of them are from the Midwest, or like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the girl was like
No,
4
but-
years old, right?
Have you guys seen those Chinese variety TV shows where you have like tiny kids doing like crazy gymnastics and they're jumping all around, or like they're reciting poetry? Like those things are equally bad, man.
Yeah.
I mean, East Asian
Yes.
culture embraces the child pageantry just as much.
And they're not happy.
No, I think Asian culture in general. I think like competitions, like singing, like spelling competition, like all sorts of like anything that is competitive, it's encouraged, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
But like
unless
Attica.
it's Singapore, sports not so much.
Yeah. Singapore is just make money at whatever cost.
Make money.
Yeah.
Try and make money.
I'm actually surprised we
better
weren't taking out.
in school than your neighbor.
Yeah, just be better than
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Just
that's all.
be better.
Mm.
Yeah. I think
Just be better than Malaysia.
yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
it's
not
indoctrined
hard.
the moment you're in the moment you're conceived lah. Be better.
Yeah.
Then
No, everything
Malaysia.
just be better. Yeah, just be better.
But
Be
I,
better
I,
than thy neighbors.
I remember watching a documentary in 2008, just before the Beijing Olympics. Was it 2008?
Yeah.
There was this documentary about this gym in China, Shanghai or Beijing or some other big city, where where parents would send their kids to this gym to train them to become Olympians, future Olympians. And it's like kind of like behind the scenes kind of footage, and you can see that the coach, there's this little girl trying to be a gymnast, and you can see they're just stretching her out to make her nimble and stuff like that, and you can see her crying, like it's too painful, and then you can see the coach, no, you can do it, you can do it, and then just pushing her, stretching her, and then she's just like bawling her eyes out, and it's like,
Wow.
you want to be a champion, you want to be a champion, and then she's crying, yes, yeah, fucking disturbing, dude. Yeah.
No, but that's the thing
that's
with
so
sports.
messed up.
Like if you're going to do it just for fun, like as a recreational activity, right? The pressure won't be there. But if you really want to become good at it, then you would have to go through all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
The question is whether the kid wants it or they
Yeah.
just
don't have a say.
they're just
They don't have
really
a
have
say.
Yeah. And also the thing is like the age, right? Like, I mean, if the kid's like maybe 15 to 18 just before the kid turns pro, and that's still okay, because 18 is the mark where you can clubs can buy you and shit like that. But if the kid's like 6, and the kid's like crying, coming home every day crying with bruises on the shoulders or on the knees or whatever.
Oh, they better not come home crying. They come home crying, the parents also spank
imagine
them.
what would happen, if they come home crying saying that I don't want to do it anymore.
爸爸，我不要，你不要什么？爸，你要吗？爸，哦，我要爸，我也不要。It's like, don't know what to do. I don't want that one. I don't want this one. I don't want to do. I want to go sleep. You sleep, it's like,
okay. So on the flip side, right? Like, let's say you guys, I mean, you all have like 5 kids each, so obviously you understand. But like, if you actually did have kids, right? Like, and so you have this kid and you have great aspirations for them and you want them to do well in life, but they just happen to be shit at everything. Like, they're just useless and they're like, they just want to eat ice cream and watch TV. Like, there has to be a point where you're like, no, I want you to at least develop like a skill. I want you to be good at something, because you can't rely on me all the time, right? So like, where do you draw the line? Because this kid could be just whiny and he doesn't want to learn anything. You put him on like a class in, I don't know, roller skating, and he just refuses to stand up, and it gets to a point where there needs to be some sort of reinforcement, right? You can't just say, oh, you do whatever you like. You should enjoy your childhood by being a lazy, chubby kid who does nothing. Like,
I feel like you're describing me now, though.
I'm with Josiah on that one. See, I think it doesn't apply to us, because the moment he goes, whatever he describes, like he only eats ice cream, watch TV, I look at him and my speech will be like, first of all, that's my boy. Oh, that's my boy.
No,
But then,
you have to remember, there's a finite amount of ice cream in your house. So are you gonna get to eat it, or is he?
Oh, definitely me. Because I'm bigger. It's like, that's my boy. Yeah, but 3/4 of that is mine, and since only 3/4 left, it's all mine.
If that's the least you could do, right? Like, just eat ice cream and sit on the couch. Maybe you should ask the kid, do you want to make ice cream? And if the kid does not respond to that, then you give him the next line. You should have been aborted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on
which.
which.
You can't even come down to make ice cream. Something that you like.
Yeah. It's like you could have so many ways. You said I should have shot on the back, or if you're the mother, I should have swallowed you. It's like some things like that. You can go a lot around.
Just whisper in the kids here, I should have pulled out.
And intervention must happen at that point.
Yes.
At that point. Fuck.
I mean, for me, they always say you have to, as a parent, you have to lead by example. But they didn't say whether that's a good or bad example. So you could choose both. You could either be the good example and say, do you want to be as successful as me, and then bam, 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 and get all this? Or you could be like, sitting down there. Do you want to be like me? And like, okay, like, that's it. It's like, if you want to be like me, that's what you have to do. And okay. I get the idea. And then it goes the other part. But yeah, that's being like, it depends on the
Or
parent
you can
are.
use fear.
Or you can use fear lah,
can
like
use
the
fear.
like the Asian side lah. It's like you want to eat, then you better stretch. You better be able to
but
touch
also like I think right now we're living in a society where you need to know what job or what occupation you want to partake in when you're like 10 years old, or like 8 years old, where you need to plan out your career when you're before even puberty hits.
I don't even know what those things do.
No, where got.
So, yeah. So like a lot of parents are like sending their kids for tuition centers as young as 5-6 years old. So I think it's about creating giving your kids some time to figure out who they are, what they like, what they enjoy.
I think it's because of the society we're in, actually. I think it's the Singaporeans. I think it might not be special to us, but I think it's because of what we are. Like, there's so much pressure on the kids to excel in school in order for them to have an opportunity when they're older. I think that's what was mostly on us. Like, the whole reason why they tell you have to study hard is so you have you can go to university and have a job, or you can do what you want to do. That's the idea. The way they translate it out might be different with the cane and saying you better study. I tell you, I smack you, and he's like, why? I don't have to tell you why. You just do, and pa. And when you grow up and you pass your PSN, it's like you graduate. It's like see. I told you right. Now you see how you can do what you want to do. You can buy a nice car. It's like, oh yeah, all those cane marks. I said I got sun scar. That's why I couldn't become a model. You asshole. Like something like that.
I have so many friends who rationalize that after, they're like, oh, I have a nice banking job now. It's all thanks to those many times that my dad whooped my ass. Like we're so okay with that system, and we're so okay with the kind of punishment that we receive, that we just expect that it's going to be handed down to the next generation.
Yeah. Because we were told that was what happened.
Balance, right?
You get smacked.
You can't coddle your kid. Like you can't like really just give everything to your kid and not expect it to like backfire. And you can't like bash up the kid and expect it to go well as well.
You can't beat wealth into him.
Yeah.
But
which
you
was
see
the concept that was
like most of the time, right? You see those like kiasu parents, right? I don't know. I think that they might look at their kids as investments. Like, oh, you better grow up and do something and look after me.
Yeah.
And then in that case, they're not that far off from Micah Stroffer, right? Because she invested in that storyline and that brand. So, if you think about it, like just 200 years ago, when all of us were like in agrarian kind of societies, and kids were really means of production, right? You had a ton of kids so they could help you with the farming. Like, I don't know, maybe we're just returning to what nature has programmed into us to exploit our kids, because that's what they're there for.
Yeah. In many ways.
Back to basics. Back to basics. They come out 4 years old, but I'm doing accountings now, but I need you to do it faster so I can quit. So learn your POA. Learn how to balance the bloody shit.
Have you guys watched, like, on Channel News Asia, they had this series about Child Protective Services?
Oh, I heard about that, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like, if you guys like watch it, then you'll be like, yeah, abortion should definitely be legal for.
But then they'll be out of the job. No children to protect.
There are people who will have the kid and will not care for the kid.
Or maybe they'll take it to extremes. Like, what if they, it becomes a thing that people are like, it's not right to have kids just because I want them. I need to have kids so I'm ready to take care. So let's not have kids. And then there'll be, instead of Child Protection Agency, there'll be like SPA, the Sperm Protection Agency. Protect them while they're sperm.
I was so ready to take you seriously. So ready.
First mistake.
You should check it out. It's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting series where it's weird when you see like a small girl being afraid of her mother.
Oh
wow! And they show it on camera.
Yeah, but
that's
of course they blur out the kid's face.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So the mother was abusive, or
abusive? Yeah,
wasn't abusive, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
CPS took
this
her
is
away.
Singapore. Child Protection
Singapore.
Agency Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Singapore. Yeah.
It's quite sad, man.
Yeah.
You
It
never
is
want to see
very
that
sad.
happen in a house because you would usually expect if a kid's afraid, it'll be someone from outside, a stranger, teacher. You know, it comes back, it's like, oh, my teacher's hitting me, and then you're like, oh, that's bad already. But if it's your own family, yeah, it's like
Most
10 times worse.
sexual abuse starts at home, or it happens at home. So
Yeah, that's just
it's eerily quite it's a conducive environment for all sorts of abuse.
and it's not any fault of their own. So it's just that
Yeah, how are you going to
just
fault a
the
kid?
parents don't know how to handle their own stress, so they take it out on their kids.
No, it's the
Yes.
And
parents'
you're right.
fault.
It's this kind of people that, they not abortion in particular, but just should have considered not even having any, because they're clearly
Yeah,
not
that's
ready
right.
for it. People clearly not ready
Yeah.
for it. They wanted to have it because maybe the question is why? Why do some people want to have? Why? Like they have to ask themselves why. There are people who have no choice. They didn't use protection. They were like dumb or just
Yep.
in the moment or what thing, and they had no choice, and they thought it would be a responsible thing to do to have the kid, which is, it's already your fault. But if you want to
Yeah.
do it, there's that case where you have to do it between like at a certain time where it's humane enough.
I think it's also a question of one, your culture, and two, the costs, right? Because
Yeah.
let's face it, like contraceptives are expensive, right? And a lot of times people who make rash decisions, sometimes they're not in the best position, which is why they make rash decisions, right? Like
Yeah.
you go with your impulses because life has trained you to do that, because they're just living in each moment. So I mean, I don't want to say that all of them are necessarily going in this because they're stupid and irresponsible. Sometimes it's just really that life has handed you a shitty deck. And I think it can also be that abortion is too expensive for them to consider as an option. And that's why we really have to start thinking about how we can find other ways to support these people, like if we can subsidize the cost of family planning, and things like that. Like then that's the whole reason like Planned Parenthood exists, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, it's just some people are not qualified to be parents, but they end up being parents because circumstances prevent them
Yeah.
from finding other interventions.
And that's why we
But-
should
but
always
do
keep it an option, right? We shouldn't take away that option. Like
Oh, definitely.
abortion
Definitely.
cannot be taken away. You can't take it off because you'll be adding on to those reasons why people
No, because you
get into
cannot
that
make
shit.
it illegal, because then
Yeah.
you're creating a black market for that, for
Yes.
for, for
Yeah.
that very thing.
And you'll be unsafe, and then more people will
Yeah.
die. So it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
exactly.
you can't just outlaw it completely. I think that's one thing we have to accept, lah.
No, and
Yeah.
in certain circumstances, it might be needed.
Yeah, if the
Like for
lady's
someone
life
with
is
a
in
medical problem. Like there was an Indian lady who was a tourist in Ireland who was pregnant, and I think she died or the child died. I'm not recalling. I can't recall it right now, but something happened and she needed like an abortion. But the doctors did not do it because I
Well, they
think it was
don't, yeah,
against your policy
illegal.
or something like that. Yeah, it was illegal.
Because I think she was too far in the period. I think it's like
Is
maybe
it, I think
6
it
or
might still
7.
be illegal in Ireland, dude, because Catholic
Say
country.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
No
think
matter
they
what.
might have just passed legislation like last year or something that made it legal.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It could be LGBT rights, but
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it was abortion.
But I think
yeah,
this case
they're
is like
making
a couple
progress.
of years ago. This case is
Yeah.
from a couple of years ago. And what about women who get raped?
oh, that
Yeah.
one is
Right,
that
like-
one's that one's the hot one. Like in those
Yeah.
cases, I think probably they have the right over, because it was a crime committed against them, and as horrible as it sounds to say, that wasn't their choice.
Yeah.
To be impregnated wasn't their choice.
Yeah.
But not to have it is their choice, and they should be allowed to have that. I mean, it's not
So my-
they have the burden of everything. They have to carry the kid for 9 months, and
Yeah.
after a crime like that, You can't put the moral choice on them when something immoral already happened to them.
Yeah.
More.
So my sister actually works in social care. She's a social worker, and I think a couple of months ago we were just talking like over family dinner, and she was saying she's handling this case, which is quite emotional for her, where two of her kids, I think they're like 18 or 19, I think. So this couple, the guy knocked up the girlfriend. So the girlfriend is like pregnant now. I think she's like 2 months in or 6 weeks in or something. And then my first response is, why don't you just get it aborted? And then my sister is like, no, she doesn't want to because she feels that it's a moral right to keep the child. But all the cards are stacked against her. So like the guy has left. He walked out of the relationship. The woman's mother kicked her out of the house, for being pregnant. So now she's homeless. She doesn't the kid, if born, doesn't have a father. But yet she still has that feeling that that morality in her to like, I don't want to kill a life. And so here's my argument though. So here, and I think that's a very, very selfish worldview to have, because you are putting your moral standing upon the life of another child. Like imagine bringing forth a kid into the world where the kid has no father, where you are 19 years old, you have no job. How are you going to feed the kid? You're not financially stable at all, and what kind of life do you think you're going to give the kid? And then my sister responded saying that most likely she's going to send the kid for adoption into a foster home. So I said then you're basically birthing forth a problem and then taking it off and then giving it into someone else to take care of it. So
but then you have Micah Stroffer who will adopt Chinese babies.
Yeah.
For at least a year. For at least a year. Yeah.
I mean, so I think it's complicated because, like, if you are somebody who is brought up to believe that like life is sacred, precious. Right? Like it's precious, whether or not it's a religious thing or a cultural thing, it's really hard to let that go, even if you know the circumstances are not in your favor. So I empathize with her because I think it's challenging to rationalize these things when your whole moral universe is built upon that foundation, So if I let this slide and I say, okay, like in this circumstance, it is better for me to abort, then what about everything else that I believe, So I think at that age, when you're so like young and you're not sure of who you are and what your beliefs are, it can be really destabilizing if you let that go. And I think that's one of the things that you cling to when you're transitioning into like a new uncertain phase of life, right? Like all the more you want to make sure that your worldview still makes sense. Because then
but if your worldview gives a very negative impact to your child, then I think you should really consider what their worldview is. Because what if the kid lands up in a foster home that is abusive, and like then aren't you also responsible for that choice to make? To knowing full well that you are incapable of keeping a kid, that you're not financially stable, that you cannot afford to start a family, giving him away and then him landing up in a foster home and then going into a life of crime, say for example,
I think
then you should be held responsible as well.
Yeah, that's just the warped sense of like they think it's irresponsible to terminate a life, but for some reason it's morally or responsible to give birth and then get rid of it. But thinking that if I gave birth to it and I gave it away to a healthy foster home, I'm actually helping that baby because now that baby has, a chance at life. Not seeing that you got rid of the responsibility. You're seeing it as responsible of me to when I gave it away, that was responsible.
Yeah, and a lot of these people that hold this worldview sadly are quite religious.
Because they're only concerned about the part where they didn't terminate the life. Everything after it's I've already not terminated the life. That's my part.
No, they are concerned that God will be angry with them if they abort a kid.
Yes.
I think God was already angry with you for having premarital sex.
Exactly.
he kind of messed up from the start. It's not the case where, hey, sorry, Papa, I did this, but I took care of that. And then he's like, oh yeah, it's okay, sayang, sayang. No. He already smites you at the beginning already. You've been smite.
Yeah.
He doesn't look at you anymore. It's like, it's not gone. So it's
So
wrong.
my problem with the pro-life movement on whole is that they want you to feel that guilt about taking a life and everything, but they don't provide a good alternative, right? Instead of condemning these women, like, if you are really pro-life, then you should be the ones putting in the resources to say, okay, I will set you up with an adoption home. I'll make sure that this kid has the best life possible. Then you can say it's a morally superior choice. Because if this young lady doesn't have those options, then yeah, you're right. It's clearly not a better solution, because at the end of the day, you're bringing a life into a very shitty kind of environment, and they're probably not going to thrive, right? And that's going to be just wasting resources, and it has all sorts of ripple effects on the people who are trying to help you to find this kid a better home. And it's just, I think if you look at it on that scale, then the moral complexity of it becomes very overwhelming for these people who just have like a black and white view of the world. So
they simplify it. Yeah, they simplify it. Usually, the arguments against that will be like, no, you're giving him a chance. You're assuming that the kid will grow up bad. But we're saying that you have to let the kid come out and go into foster home. They're assuming all the good stuff.
yeah,
Like,
and
let the kid
if
come
you
out.
wanna confirm that the good stuff will happen, then make it happen. And when that happens, then sure,
Yeah,
you can go
that's
with
usually
your
what they
pro-life
should do.
campaign.
But they're happy of judging on it. They just want to
No,
judge. Like, oh,
and the assumption of all the positive things, right, only matter until the kid comes out, and then the kid is on his own,
yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
So
usually they'll ask like, I think they have like asked, babies that were adopted who like have done well in life. Then they'll come out and say like, I was adopted and I was put into this time. Look at how well I turned out. You need to give me like a chance. But where are the other side? Where's the other ones? Why do you get like one person off the street and ask him, were you adopted? He's like, yeah, I went to 50 different foster cares. They were all abusive, Then in the end, I didn't have life skill. I had to
yeah,
lie, cheat, steal, eat, blank. Because they assume that doesn't happen and it was a mistake of like ongoing mistake of other things. They just assume all the bad ones are gone and because they're pro-life narrative, they're just gonna focus on that. So
Yeah.
like you
And
all
I mean,
said, I think
I don't want to discount like all the great foster parents out there.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure
Of course.
there's a really great foster community, but it's also a really small one, because
Yeah.
we just don't have that many people who can foster kids, right? So you're gonna end up with kids who don't get placed
yeah.
in a good home, and that's
Those
your
a small
problem.
number of people who can, and a small number of people who actually want to,
Yeah,
no,
right?
the ones who can and want to, they're not on YouTube.
Oh.
Yes. Well
hell
said.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
actually stands for the one thing. This person probably is pro-life. For kids, I think she's damn pro-life. She's wow. My God, Kana also just take, don't care.
Do you
Don't
think
know.
that by the time she has a fifth kid, you can just like reach in and then like just pull the kid out?
I don't know,
Then
man.
put in what
Apparently, one of them is allergic to. Probably one of them is allergic to latex.
you just ask the kid to just raise a hand and then you grab him and then just pull him out and then that's it.
Yeah, that
No,
oven
Apparently,
is
like
that's
one.
what happens. They just slip right out after like the first one.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the Octomom, the last kid just walked out.
It's just like, yep, here I come, mom.
Like the beginning got light already. Like, voila. But it's like the baby came out 10. The baby already had a 10 because it was that bright. But yeah, it's funny. It's funny how they can stand. But that's the thing, is too many judgmental people out there just judging you on the act of one thing, but not caring about the rest. It's like what
No,
Devel said. It's like they
yeah.
just want to. They're like, oh, you have to be good, God's grace, and all this thing. But whatever happens, thing is you. It's all on you. It's like everything is you. You have to have the baby, and then you have to take care of it, and you have no other choice. They
It's
removed it.
okay. It's okay when it's your personal choice, but if you want to legislate your personal choice
Then it
onto
becomes a
everyone
problem for the
else,
rest of us, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a problem,
Yep.
and that's
And
where
I also want to say one thing about just religious communities in general. Like, I think you wouldn't have the problem of so many unplanned pregnancies if you guys actually were real about sex, right? Like the fact
Yeah.
that like sex is so taboo and people don't want to talk about it. So obviously when a teen like gets knocked out because they didn't know anything about protected sex, then
Yep.
yeah, they're gonna have these issues, right? And then you condemn them like twofold for it. So like, come on, if you want to abolish like unsafe, unprotected sex, then talk about it more and be real about it because your teenagers are gonna have it whether or not God is watching.
Yeah,
I mean,
if it's
if God's watching, he's a voyeur. So voyeur, and he didn't say anything about it. Like
No,
Well,
and-
you
so
know, you have
is
to be
Santa
careful.
Claus, so
Yeah, you know,
except
Santa Claus.
he's a bit more judgy about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's like
loads of
you're
religious
not
people
supposed
are
to
quite
do it,
funky
but I'm
when it comes
watching.
to sex.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think-
what do they get from it? It's like, how are they gonna explain? I mean, the kids are gonna explain like, oh, the kid could easily say like, if God was watching, then He gave me the erection. It was not my fault, you know. It's
Wow.
not my fault. It's like He doesn't want me to use condoms. Like you guys say He doesn't want me to use condoms, but He gave me the thing. What am I supposed to do with it? I can't even touch myself. What? What do you want me to do? Just stand there with the
Yeah.
waiting. Just what? Stay at home. What am I supposed? You don't even say that you give me all these rules, but you don't tell me what to do. I'm just supposed to don't have those thoughts. Don't have, and that's why the priest start looking at little boys.
Yeah.
Because there's no
Yeah, I
rule
think-
there.
Yeah, I think
There
when you
is no rule
suppress,
there.
yeah, I think when you suppress like the natural human need and desire, I think it just
It messes your mind
yeah, it
up
messes
actually. I
your-
think it just
fucks
gives
up.
you all this it's not targeted anywhere. You read the book and they read that book like a mofo. They can quote numbers and things you never heard about. 3:16, you look at your clock. No, it's 4. But it's actually a passage from somewhere. Oh, okay, sorry. You know, you get this. I was always fascinated with that thing when I went to church. They can say Matthew 6:1, then then it's like, whoa, you can quote the entire book word for word. And that's the problem. In that whole entire book, you don't even hear them say anything wrong with certain stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Like-
happening now. That's
like
why you
for me,
know
growing up-
nothing and we went wrong.
Yeah, like for me, growing up in church, we were taught that like pornography and touch and pleasuring yourself is wrong. It's a sin, and you should abstain from it. But I mean, touching yourself is just pleasuring yourself is something that should be encouraged though. Yeah, it might prevent a lot of rapes from happening.
No,
And it's also just about not being ashamed of our own sexuality, right? Because I mean, like I think the whole issue is that then we become so ashamed of ourselves. Like the whole point of religion is not to feel like you are disgusting and unworthy, right? Like, I mean, Christianity is all about you being special, right? Like God loves you, right? And full
Yeah.
disclosure, I am Christian and I still like practice and I believe. But I think a lot of what the church teaches you runs in direct conflict with what the main like purpose of religion was. Like
Yeah.
I think maybe it's
fundamentally.
backdated. It's backdated. It's too far
Yeah.
back. You have to realize that things happened too long ago and you interpret it a different way. Like one instance, we don't know when the "don't touch yourself" started. It could be a problem way back when the church was still up and the priest didn't have a way to release their venting, and the holy water started getting murky. So let's just say stop touching yourself. Stop touching yourself because the people coming in and wondering why the holy water is a bit white, and I can't explain it. It's because
God damn it.
because they're touching it, they're going Father, Son, what the. Why
Why-
are all the people coming out and they have like dots?
Sean,
Why is it
but
being marked?
but is that a good reason? Is that the reason why like the ropes on priests are all white so that you can't see
Yeah,
the
because
stain?
black is easier to see.
Yeah, solve the
It's like,
they've solved
yeah,
that
it's like,
question.
Father,
makes
why do
more
you have a
sense.
crucifix on the? Why do you have a crucifix on your pants? You're like, oh, it was a holy blessing. I'll get rid of it tonight. Would you like to help me? And I was like, I was like, nah. Then all they see every day is altar boys. And how did they see them? The altar boys are usually walking in front of them. Ugh. And then the holy water gets murky again. So then
For those who are listening, Sean is actually a Catholic, so he can say all these kind of things, lah. He's
Yeah,
part of the
he's entitled,
organization. Yeah.
entitled to say all those things.
I can, and then I have to say them again when I go to confession. Cause
And when
Oh,
was the
Father, I
last?
was just talking about you on my podcast this Sunday.
and then he'll be whispering like, "Don't do that again." No, it's like stop revealing secrets, and 1,000 Hail Marys and Our Fathers, and then you get to eat the body of Christ. I'm like, ooh, that's actually the whole reason I said those things. Like, what is the body of Christ? It's like, when did it become a wafer? Was it just left there and it became crusty, and then
Speaking
what
of
the heck am I putting
confession,
in my
right?
mouth?
There was a show on BBC called The Big Question, and it's like a panel show with like audience members and everything. And one of the topics they discussed was pedophilia in the Catholic Church. And someone brought this up, like if a priest were to go into the confessional box and confess to another priest that he has been touching kids or he's been raping kids or whatever, must the priest then the priest who gave the confession, must he then go and report it to the police?
No, I think the other priest would just say which one. The other priest would say which one, because they have to make sure that
Which is the
make
loose
sure
kid?
Yeah,
Who is the loose kid?
there has to be some sort of like code of conduct, right? Because okay, so I'm studying for like to do therapy, like psychotherapy. And one of the things that we do is that there's a confidentiality clause, but
Yes.
there are some exceptions, right? So we will state upfront, so there is consent when we talk to our clients that if you do something illegal or if you're trying to harm somebody or harm yourself, then we have to inform somebody. So already upfront, we're saying that it's not 100% confidential if you were to do something wrong. So do priests have that kind of thing? I don't know.
And the answer is no.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they don't have to.
I think they
Oh,
would
that's
try.
so-
Yeah.
Because God is the ultimate judge, not human beings.
Yeah, and they are encouraged not to,
Oh,
because
man.
that person who came into confession already did the first step. So
Yeah.
now the onus is
to
on
absolve them of
the,
their sin.
the person who sinned to go and find redemption. So
the priest will
priest who
encourage
did the
the guy to
confession
just-
has no
Alright.
need to go and approach the authorities over whatever abuse that he just listened to.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
nasty.
So then the priest will have to live with that as well. So usually you'll just have to, in the priest position, you will just tell the person like, yeah, this and that and this, and then you have to go and turn yourself in to make things
And it
Oh.
gets weird when
You
you
confess
watch
it here.
you watch like those Catholics on the show who were trying to defend the church, and they were trying their best to defend that position. It was very weird to watch.
About the molestation.
Yeah, no,
No,
I mean
about
this particular
not
thing.
not reporting.
Not
Yeah.
reporting. Yeah. It's
To attempt to defend a position is, I think, it's hard to make a stand against it. For it,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, because
I mean-
whatever excuse you can bring up, right, it will be very theological. It will be like oh, we believe in this, so God will ultimately be the judge, like what you said.
Mm.
But then
But
in, a
in
secular
real world
society, that
context,
will
it's
not
very
fly.
hard to accept.
Yeah.
Real world context is very hard to, because like let's say Ted Bundy goes into a church, confesses that he killed a lady, and the priest says what the priest needs to say, like absolve yourself, go have penance, please turn yourself in. He goes out and kills another lady, comes back. Those two lives were already lost. The second one you could have saved.
Yeah.
The second one you could have saved. Now
Yep.
that becomes
I'm
a
just
question.
thinking, like, if God is the ultimate arbiter and not a priest, then why does the priest even need to be in the confession booth?
Ooh. And
Ooh.
that one's even
Oh.
that one's even higher. Why that one is yeah.
Because like
I think
then
that-
he has a responsibility, right? Like if he's there, then like I don't know, channel God or something, right? Like
That puts you on the list now. You better watch yourself.
No, and Devel, and that's why
time to
that's
go
how
for
the
confession.
split. That's how the split between Catholics and Protestants, right? Like now you remove the middleman and you speak directly to God. And if you want to seek
Yeah.
forgiveness, you find it through God. You know, so yeah, so that then you remove that whole human aspect of it.
Yeah. And
Oh.
actually, when you get older, you don't really know why. Like for me, when I was younger, yes, father, like, oh, you know, this figure of authority. Yeah, you call him father, and then you call him father. So you have a lot of daddies. And so you can say a lot of Catholic people have a lot of daddy issues. But so you have all that. Then you're wondering later when I'm older, I'm wondering who gave them like what what in what place are they, you know, preaching? Like, do they speak to God? No, not really, because God only speaks to you as individual. And sometimes, especially for the Val, if God speaks to you a lot, it's a mental problem.
Mm.
You know? So if there's a lot of voices in
Yeah.
your head, that becomes a problem. So that's the
Okay.
other thing is like you're supposed to trust that these people have your welfare, your well-being, but they themselves don't get up to date. You know, they don't get up to date. So they're saying a lot of archaic things like I can't list them all because I actually lost track already. So I haven't read the Bible in so long.
Yeah,
So you know,
like a simple thing would be like what you eat, right? What you can or cannot eat.
well, the thing
Can't,
is that if they were like channels of God, right, they would be up to date. They wouldn't even need. They would be. I would assume if he is. I mean,
because here,
if God is ever seeing, ever present, and everywhere, the Bible will be updated.
no, you
There will
see,
be a 2020 edition.
no,
There
Sean,
will be a
because
newest testament.
Sean, because in the book of John,
The
Huh?
newest
John,
testament.
because in the book of John, it's
Uh,
written in the Bible that the Word is God and God is the Word. So now then you have this 2,000-year-old book that people throughout the ages have been reading it and believing that this is the final words of God. That's why there can never be a new update to
yeah,
any religious
because
Christian religious
yeah,
text.
because maybe back then they didn't know what it meant. It meant when it was 2,000 years ago, God upgraded. He started emails and he knew all about this thing. So that's the final word of God because he's digitized already. And
Right.
y'all didn't catch
So,
up. You're still using Stone. Like how am
so
I
I
supposed
think
to send you an SMS? I was like,
so.
what's going on, man?
Should we find God's Twitter account then? That would that solve
The
I
the
thing
think
problem?
is,
that is
I
a
think he's
Twitter
way
account
ahead.
for God.
There might be,
He's
but
already
he's
on
way
Twitter.
ahead. It's like he's
Right.
way ahead. It's like I mean, back then they actually said that he spoke straight to their mind. He's transcended like computers.
No,
He's
he
going
used
straight
to
to their head.
use like pillars of fire and clouds and
Oh
stuff.
yes,
And like
signals, right?
yeah. So
Yeah, signals.
he's like, okay, cloud means you go forward, like fire means stop. I think it was pretty straightforward back then. I
Pretty,
appreciate like the
maybe, or they
literalness of
misinterpreted a lot of what you're saying. You say like, screw them. I'm gonna ghost them.
No, yeah, no. He was pretty simple back then. Now he's complicated. You know,
No,
God
now
works
we're
in
we're
mysterious ways
complicated.
now.
It's like if imagine how most of what we say get misconstrued. Then he's like, oh, if I say any more things, they're gonna like blow themselves up, you know. It's like I said a few things back then. I said the final word. Look what they did. I was like, I don't want to say anymore. It's like, wouldn't you be frustrated with us? He says like, let he who is without sin
People
cast
were
the first
doing,
stone. Then
dude.
everyone
They
threw
were
stones. Like, what the hell? I
they
said
were
no
doing those
sin.
kind of things way before, right? But they just couldn't blow themselves up. Now they can.
mm,
They have
Yeah. No,
embraced technology, and now they
yep.
are doing what they can. But
Now
you
you
see,
can strap C4
it's
to your
funky,
body.
right? If God speaks to you, and if you do good things, that is really good. But if God speaks to you and you do bad things, that's a mental problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good way of
The
classifying.
responsibility has just been taken away from God, and like, what? In a sense that
God told
Yeah.
me to do this. Like God told you to skin that man alive and then eat his spleen. Yep. Why?
All right.
Just
I think we are already pushing 90 minutes now.
oh
So
god.
yeah, should we quickly just like wrap this up?
we can.
yes.
We can have the
Yeah.
Val plug. Have a quick plug about some scuffs.
Oh god, I haven't done that in a while. I am working on a new mini series that's
There you
coming
go.
up in July, so look out for that. It's going to be personal essays about the lockdown and how we're connecting in the time. So, yeah, check it out when it's ready. I
All
guess.
right.
I
Will you
hope.
be
Yeah,
bringing guests
you guys
back,
are-
or is it-
Also, because of like the lockdown and everything, I haven't gotten people in to like do proper recording. So I'm going to be reading the essays, and the idea will be that they will comment at the end of it. So, but it'll be interesting. I've got a couple of submissions, and hopefully
Thank-
it'll be a diverse range. I'm looking for like an old person to contribute. If you guys know anybody who's old and likes to write.
Sean is 32 years old, so is that considered old?
Oh, that's ancient.
Yeah, he's the oldest
Ah.
among here.
You will be in that list right now. Come on, mind your business. No, but you have to give them like where would they find the link? Where would they find the link on the old some scuff?
Yes,
Or-
somescuffs.com. I put up all the episode descriptions and stuff over there. You'll find all the links.
And in
But,
July
yep,
you'll update it with the essays, right?
yes.
All
Yes.
right, that'll be good. If you want to put this on your website also and risk your credibility,
I will do that. I will do that. I think that will be fun.
all right. But thanks for coming on our podcast. First ever female guest. Everything is safe,
Yay.
safe space. No, we haven't done anything wrong, and we're all good, right? Right.
Okay,
Yes.
yes. Right.
Yes.
Cool.
NDA has been signed. She will not be able to speak of this for the next 6 months. Of what really happened.
Oh dear.
Right. Thank
Tune
you so
in
much.
in 6 months.
Yeah.
Thank you
Or
so
at least
much,
in
Isabel.
Yeah,
Thank you
no
so much.
worries. I have fun.